I will now call this meeting to order. Board Member Kenneth DeYoung is unable to join us tonight as he is attending the CSEA Annual Conference in Reno, Nevada. We have a quorum. This meeting is being webcast live and recorded. The recording or webcast may capture images and sounds of those attending the meeting. I'm going to identify closed topics items on the closed session. Item 2.1, recommended suspended expulsions. 2.2, public employee assignment, reassignment, appointment. 2.3, public employee discipline, dismissal, release, complaints. 2.4, conference with labor negotiator. 2.5, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation. 2.6, conference with real property negotiators. And 2.7, anticipated litigation. Public comment on any closed session item will be heard at this time. Pursuant to board policy, the board may limit individual comments to no more than 3 minutes and individual topics to 20 minutes. It is recommended you begin your comments by stating your name. As I see no one here, I will adjourn this to closed session. We will now convene the regular session. I'm here. Got too many papers. Board Member Kenneth DeYoung is unable to join us tonight as he is attending the CSEA Annual Conference in Reno, Nevada. I will now introduce our interpreter. Alondra Moran will serve as the Spanish interpreter for this meeting. Attendees who would like to listen to Spanish interpretation of the proceedings, please pick up headphones from the table located in the back of this room. This announcement will now be shared in Spanish.
Alondra Morán servirá como intérprete al español para esta reunión. Invitamos a todos los asistentes de la reunión que deseen escuchar la interpretación al español, el ir por audífonos a la mesa ubicada al fondo de esta sala de reuniones. Gracias.
Thank you. 3.3, this meeting is being webcast live and recorded. The recording or webcast may capture images and sounds of those attending the meeting. Members of the public who would like to provide public comment on items listed on tonight's agenda, we recommend you fill out the public comment form, the green form located on the table at the northeast entrance of this room. Please hand the completed form to the acting board manager, Leah Martinez, in the back of the room before the item comes up on the agenda. We recommend you complete a separate form for each agenda item on which you would like to comment. Ms. Martinez is in the back of this meeting room. Members of the public providing public comment, please use the microphone on the stand located in the front of the room. I will now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Board Member Paul Belt will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to 3.5, report action taken in closed session. In closed session on a motion by Board Member Odo and a second by Board Member Gaby, the board agreed unanimously by a vote of 6 with 1 absent to appoint Sandra Flores to the position of Director, Business Services, Budget and Payroll. Congratulations to Sandra. Also in closed session on a motion by Board Member Gamoyan and a second by Board Member Odo, the board agreed unanimously by a vote of 6 with 1 absent to adopt the hearing officer's proposed decision terminating EID number 23401 from district employment as the decision of the board and hereby terminates his employment effective immediately. Moving on to 3.6. There are revised item enclosures 4.1, 4.2, 6.17, 6.18, and 10.7. We have 2 revisions to the board agenda. We are removing item 6.12, Memorandum of Understanding between Visalia Unified School District, USD, and California School Employees Association, CSEA. New employee orientation and item 6.15, Memorandum of Understanding between Visalia Unified School District and California School Employees Association, 2025-2026 paid holiday schedule, bus drivers from the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the board meeting agenda?
All motion. Second.
On a motion by Board Member Gaby, second by Board Member Gamoyen, call for the vote.
Motion passes 6 with 1 absent.
Moving on to the focus on student learning. 2025, 2026 back to school report, launch ready. Superintendent Kirk Schrum.
Thank you, Madam President and board members. We're excited, even though we're still a few weeks away from the start of school. Those back to school commercials will be arriving soon if they have not already. And we know our families are beginning to think about this, maybe. Students probably not as much, but the next board meeting we will be after school has started. And so we did want to take a little bit of time this evening just to share some of the highlights and things from the summer, but also what families and students can be expecting as they enter the new school year. And as we conclude this report, I will share also how we're going to be publicizing all of this information through our press conference, social media, emails, and others so that families will be aware and students will be aware of all this information in much more detail than is about to be shared. So to begin our report tonight with a little bit of a review from summer and segueing into our new school year, I'll call up Deputy Superintendent Mark Thompson.
All right. Good evening, Board President Naylor, School Board, Superintendent Schrum. First of all, I'm going to start off. Let's get this going here. All right, we're going to start off first with summer school. So this year, the expanded learning program offered 3 summer school sessions, each lasting 3 weeks in length. Notably this year, this was the first time that we're offering programming through into August this year, allowing for continued support and engagement for students beyond the traditional summer school schedule. Session 1 and 2 were hosted at 4 school sites this year. Session 3, which will be happening here in August, due to the high demand, we will be having 1 school site. For session 1, we had 1,600 students in daily attendance. Session 2, we had 800. And for this third session, we will have 400 students that will still be accessing summer school in August. These sessions were designed to provide continuous enrichment, academic support, and structured activities for TK 6th grade students, aligning with our district's commitment to year-round learning and family support. I'll get more into the details of TK transition here in a few minutes on another slide. High school. This summer, our high schools, we saw outstanding student participation and achievement. Nearly 2,000 students successfully completed credit recovery coursework, allowing them to either move on to the next level in their course sequence or meet essential graduation requirements. Many of them now are back on track for A through G, which is very exciting. I believe 3 of them finished up their diplomas during this time, which is exciting. We also had over 3,000 students complete accelerated coursework, positioning them to pursue additional electives, enroll in advanced placement courses, and participate in high school events like the visual and performing arts programs, due to them having more flexibility in their schedule coming up this year. In addition to our traditional summer school, that is something that we've been running here for several years. We had something new this year. This summer, all middle and high school schools implemented a targeted transition program focusing on about 20 students for each school site, providing extra support to help students feel confident and prepared for their new school environment. These students received multiple touch points and team building opportunities beginning at the end of last school year when they were currently at their school site through this summer. And school sites have already led this work so that they have touch points throughout the school year to stay connected with these students starting it. The work that the school site team led was intentional, creating engagement, student-centered activities to help build confidence, relationships, and a sense of belonging as students prepare for their new school environment. Site teams are also developing how they regularly touch bases with these students. So it's not a one and done or just a summer, but as they are freshmen on that campus, how do they continue to support them in that work? Next, in the summertime, we also had opportunities to support some of our special education students. So during our extended school year program, which is required by idea served 149 students. ESY focuses on IEP goals and helps students retain and recover essential skills learned during the school year. Also, we ran the We Can Work program, which is a 6-week work experience that provides students with disabilities up to 100 hours of job training, helping them build skills for life beyond high school. So those were the 2 programs that we ran. This summer, our early childhood education development launched the TK Summer Roundup. This is new, a new initiative to equip families with tools and strategies that support a smooth transition into TK. As we all know, TK has lowered the age of students entering into school. And so there's some needed skills to be prepared for that as they're coming in at a bit younger age. We hosted 2 4-week sessions at 4 different sites with 1 class at each site. Each session offered, which this is awesome, parents the opportunity. So yes, parents were there with them to engage directly with their children in hands-on learning experiences that reflect TK expectations. These sessions were thoughtfully designed to empower and educate parents, giving them the confidence and knowledge to continue supporting their students' learning at the home. Our goal is to build strong parent-child learning connections and deepen family engagement during this critical window of early childhood. Across both sections, we proudly served 192 students, laying the foundation for a successful start to their TK journey. In addition, we also launched a parent university to serve as a school readiness resource hub for families, staff, and departments across Visalia Unified School District. The program includes 5 self-paced video modules that can be viewed anytime, anywhere on any device with internet access. This is designed for the parent that is a busy parent. The content is short, practical, and focused on equipping families with the knowledge and skills needed to help their children meet early school expectations. This initiative directly aligns with our strategic plan action 1A33, establishing early childhood systems and partnerships that support school readiness. Upon completing all 5 modules, participants receive a personalized certificate of completion. So far, we have 122 parents that have participated, and we are excited to offer another in-person opportunity for them to learn more on July 30th. Oh, that won't come in. To conclude, to all staff that worked this summer school and just this summer in general to prepare all this work, we just want to say a big thank you. There's been some incredible work and dedication that's come to support our students during the summertime, which many times kids are forgotten. They go off, they're away, and we have learning loss. And we're really excited that we've provided opportunities this summer to provide that, and also to provide more opportunities for our parents to learn and grow and to build as well with us. But to those staff, I just encourage you, for those that have been working all summer, you have a couple weeks off, I hope. Take a deep breath during that time. I'm looking directly at Mr. Morton, who did lead one of our high schools this year, so thank you for that work. But I just encourage staff to do that, rejuvenate, as August 15th will be here very soon. Finally, as we look forward, obviously it's been busy. The summer has been, but we've really been focusing on being intentional and being very targeted to support all of our students and our families. We look forward to see how these efforts will support a successful launch in the 25-26 school year. Before I invite, he's already here, I think, Chief Business Officer Mr. Hernandez to the podium, please take a moment and to watch this short video that our communication team created to show highlights of our elementary summer school. Thank you.
Not anything yet. Okay. So good evening, board. We like to call summertime our time. Our business services team, operations teams have been working hard over summer, closing out the books, getting ready for next school year, getting our classrooms ready, and being ready again for the best first day ever. So I'm going to share some of the work that's happened over summer, as well as some of the changes that are happening for next school year. Starting with our tech services team. This summer, we purchased over 6,700 Chromebooks, and so those are being deployed out to campuses as part of our Chromebook refresh program. Our fourth and ninth graders will get a new Chromebook next year, as well as incoming students. And then as part of our strategic plan action item around classroom technology, we're working on the design for a new, making sure our classrooms have a standardized classroom technology package. And so that work is happening now. And some of those classes will get updated technology this coming school year. So continuing to work on and bringing back updates throughout the year to the board on that process. Power School Access is open. So 24,000 emails went out yesterday afternoon to families of returning students and their ability to do enrollment and registration online. Included in that is the income surveys, and that's going to be really important to us this year as we're in a new base year for our school funding. And so we need every family to complete those income surveys. Additionally, we've got access to the uniform benefits application for the Sunbucks program, a new program through the state where families will be eligible for actual food benefits from this summer and for next year. So we're pushing on different fronts to get that message out there, and those UBA applications went in the mail to households this week. So lots of work happening there. And again, this is related to our school funding, also funding that goes directly to our school sites. So critically important for us this year. Our nutritional services team over summer and during summer school in June served over 100,000 meals to students. That included 2,400 meals that were grab and go out of Ivanhoe Elementary School. And they're continuing to work throughout the summer and to programs that will continue through August. So we expect that number to double by the end of summer. Maintenance, operations, grounds. I'm going to talk a little bit about that on the next slide. We've got some cool photos, but those teams are ready. But I do want to talk about the Verkada program. The Verkada single point of entry is part of our Measure A security enhancements that we're bringing. So every school site will have this system installed for next year. And we're implementing new procedures for accessing schools after the start of the school day. So with this new system, front office doors will be locked and access will be controlled from the front desk through two-way audio and visual communication with the visitor and a remote door lock. And we're in the process of installing the signage and getting the communications ready to send that to families here in the next couple of days. Transportation, a lot of work happening in transportation. They've been implementing the Trans Finder software over the last year now, and we had a successful pilot last school year. It's fully operational, and so students will be scanning in and off of the school bus each day. And families will also have access to the Stop Finder app, so they will know where their student's bus is on its route each school day. The system has also helped to optimize our routes. And so routes are becoming more efficient. And what that has allowed us to do is align our walking distances for elementary and for secondary. So for example, a first and a fifth grader now will have the same walking distance, a shorter distance, so more students eligible, and they'll be able to ride the same bus to get to school each day. And to help families navigate some of these changes and the routes that will be sent out here soon, we've implemented a transportation back to school hotline. And so we'll have a team of folks who will answer the phone and provide information to families once the route information goes out on August 1st. And so that will be active. And just to share a little bit about some of the summer facilities projects, you see there on the left, the El Diamante Boiler Chiller project. So we've taken that site completely off of a boiler chiller. And now they're all on package units. So that was a 2-year project. that is being completed 4 months early and under budget. So we love to hear that when that happens. And next to that is the Houston Modernization Project. So also a 2-year project that just started this April. And that'll be done in August of 26. And it's about an 8 million modernization project. The front office will be relocated with a new drop-off area, as well as modernization in all of the classrooms. Next to that is an accessible playground project that's happening at Pinkham. And you see the photo on the top, not quite done, but it will be done by the first day of school. So that's how our folks like to work under that pressure. But you can see the rendering there on the bottom, a really neat facility improvement for that site. And then on the top right, our custodial and grounds teams clean over 3 million square feet of interior spaces. And you can see that's the Mount Whitney gym floor. And it looks like it's glistening, but a lot of work to make sure that our sites and our schools are ready for, again, the best first day ever. And with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Dillon.
Good evening. Thank you. So, as Mr. Hernandez mentioned, obviously lots of work happening over the summer, but not just any one division, all of our divisions together, supporting and working in cooperation, really what making this happen. But to give you an idea, just how many folks expanded their knowledge and their skill development this summer. This is a snapshot of participants by training types. What you're looking at up here is not something I'm going to go through line by line, but I put it all here just so you kind of see it in a snapshot. What you're looking at specifically there is over 2,750 employees, many of whom are employees who work directly with our students, teachers, and support providers, specialists, administrators who participated in a wide variety of professional learning opportunities this summer, which is in service of what you as our board have tasked us in your commitment to student learning around ensuring that we have a high quality, professionally trained workforce. As I'll shift here just to kind of explain what you were looking at there. We had, with teaching and learning division professional learning activities alone, we had over 1,228 participants. That includes district trainings, it includes conferences, contracted professional development, state and national events. But just at a snapshot, that's just one division opportunities. If you add in student services, that's another 1,265 participants that participated in student services facilitated or sponsored professional learning activities, all the way from TK through 12, special education programming, early childhood special education, our traditional student services programs, as well as early childhood. So just that piece alone is a really immense number of folks who took time over the summer after a really long year of work to invest in their learning in service of our students. Additionally, beyond that, we also had another 110 cooperating teachers, mentors, and residents who participated in professional learning and onboarding events for our residency programming. Another 60 administrators and managers who went through Power School Perform Evaluator training, and then another 87 directors, principals, and cabinet staff who are part of our 3-day Summer Leadership Institute this past June. As we get prepared, kind of coming into right before this school year, I want to point your attention to some of the other things that are happening to ensuring that we are preparing and creating those conditions to launch and ensure our students have the very best first day ever. One of which is making sure that we have all the staff that we need in the right places. And so as you look on the screen there, just to give you an idea of the volume of recruitment, selection, hiring practice, we had over 7,040 applicants who were screened in the past 3 months alone, with 260 new employees. Numbers probably changed in the last couple hours who've been hired. And just to give that context, last year at this time, when I read this slide to you, it said over 3,000 applicants screened in the last 3 months and 159 new employees hired. So the changes there are a result of improvements in processes and procedures that we put into place to streamline these processes, empower our hiring managers so that they have autonomy and decision making and local authority to go ahead and schedule interviews, remove barriers, take away red tape, and try to expedite and ensure those processes are still efficient but also effective in their outcomes. As well, if you look there, we are right now at 99.9% of our teaching positions are filled. We still have interviews happening right now for those last few positions, but we will guarantee that every single classroom will have a qualified teacher in place with those students come day one. And then finally there, just to kind of give an idea, we're always looking, right, to build out pathway and pipeline programming so that we are not dependent on who might come to us, but we're always really training up our own and ensuring that we have a ready bench of qualified and invested educators who are excited to work in Visalia Unified. And so coming into this current school year for 25-26, we have 158 residents, interns, and student teachers who've been cleared and are already engaging in that onboarding process right now. Again, all of these really, as we go into year one of strategic plan, all of these specific steps right here that I've outlined anchor to strategic plan actions, many of them from theme 1 and theme 3, that we are continually trying to advance those efforts. Finally there, just to give you an idea of orientation training, just a couple things that are coming up right around the corner. So as you know, new teacher week and our new certificated staff week, because we expanded beyond just teachers, is happening just 2 weeks from now. So we have this year roughly about 120 new employees who will participate in that week, as well as we have our classified convocation conference that will be taking place the back end of that week on August 8th, and then launching into that first day when teachers are back on grid on August 11th. We have August 11th starting off with our certificated convocation, and then the back end of that day and the remainder of August 12th, really that launching forward at school sites and departments getting ready for the school year. And at this time, I will turn over to Executive Director Natalie Garza.
So as we are preparing in student services, we have been broken. It's on. Just click to the next slide. Thank you. We have made our updates to the conduct code, and they are directly informed by what teachers had shared during Superintendent Trump's multiple teacher advisories. Their message was very clear. They needed more clarity around roles, more consistency and consequences, and stronger support when managing student behavior. The revised code now clearly distinguishes between class managed and office managed behaviors, and teachers are equipped with strategies for handling minor issues like off-task behavior, while more serious or repeated behaviors such as aggression or major disruption require immediate administrative follow-up. We've also established a district-wide progressive consequence framework to ensure that responses are fair and consistent across schools. And to strengthen communication, administrators will now be expected to follow up with referring staff so teachers know when and what actions were taken. Finally, we're putting a stronger focus on student reentry. When students are removed from class, they'll receive targeted support before returning to ensure a smoother transition. These changes align to our strategic plan, Action 2A12, to design and implement a proactive, comprehensive student conduct plan and policy, and represent a more aligned and supportive approach to behavior that empowers teachers and strengthens our learning environments. Oh, thank you. The next thing I'd like to address is our cell phone policy. Teachers have been clear about this too. Cell phones and other electronic devices are a major distraction and a barrier to learning. Superintendent Shrum heard this feedback, and starting in 2025-26, we're taking action with a more consistent and district-wide approach. All classrooms will post a cell phone policy, and violations will follow a progressive discipline process with clear consequences, including parent contact and possible loss of privileges. To support implementation, school teams will receive training and tools to ensure consistency so teachers aren't handling this enforcement alone. We'll also launch a communication campaign this fall to explain the why behind this policy to our family. These changes are about maintaining engagement in classrooms and supporting student learning across all of our schools. And with that, I will turn it over to Mrs. Phillips. I don't.
Good evening. Okay, so we are excited to welcome our students back into our highly effective classrooms that are ready to support learning, growth, and engagement from day one. Every classroom is equipped with a guaranteed and viable curriculum, proven strategies for literacy and writing, and a strong plan to monitor student learning and adjust instruction. Over the summer, we focused on ensuring teachers are equipped with the tools and training and resources to meet the needs of every student. By the launch of the school year, 531 of our K-6 teachers will have been trained on our new writing curriculums. 328 K-2 teachers will have been trained on DIBELS, our new assessment for reading, as well as 266 K-6 teachers engaging in training on designated English language development. Our teachers are prepared for the best first day ever. We believe that highly effective classrooms are built through strong partnerships between schools and families. We are excited that on August 1st, we'll be launching School Messenger for our kindergarten through 12th grade students. This serves as a single point of communication to your students, teachers, as well as the office staff. For many years, our parents of secondary students have had access to students' grades, and as a commitment to our strategic plan, elementary parents will have access to real-time information on student progress, where teachers will update ongoing throughout the school year. To set up your parent accounts on PowerSchool, snap codes have been sent. Please check your emails. If you can't find your snap codes, parents, no worries. The school sites are equipped to support you in setting up your accounts. The offices will open on Monday, August 4th. Also, with our middle and high schools, they are preparing to welcome our students. Information is being sent home to all incoming students in regard to your roundups. Please check your emails or your regular mail for days and times specific to your students. Here, your students will get their 25-26 schedule and resources needed for the school year. We look forward to welcoming your students back on the best first day ever. And with that, here's some images of some of those professional learnings we've held throughout the year, prepping our teachers. And so with that, I am going to hand this back over to Superintendent Trum to close us.
Thank you. Chuck, if you could just go ahead and advance there. As you have heard, we are prepared. We're excited for everyone to come back. We will be releasing a lot of this information. This was just a very high-level snapshot of what's to come. Starting with our back to school press conference. I believe that's August 4th, and starting around that time, well, already some things have been sent out, but a daily intentional campaign that will go through social media, that will go through email, all of those things will start, and it will cover all of those topics that are most pressing for a family to be ready for day one, but in much more detail. So for example, when it comes to cell phone and that sort of thing, there'll be a whole entire communication, parent communication, student communication package that will go with that, so that when students enter school that week, they will be ready and confident to have all the information they need. So we're excited about those pieces. We're excited about also convocation, continuing for our classified employees and that day of learning that they'll have. And then we heard feedback from our teachers, hey, we'd like to get back together again and have a chance to, show our spirit and learn about the school year. And so also this year, for the first part of their day back, certificated day, we will be together in person at Mount Whitney for that convocation kickoff. And then they'll go to school sites to continue their professional learning. So, of course, board, you'll receive that information and are invited to attend that as well. And so we're happy to answer any questions at this time on anything related to back to school.
So quick question. Well, first of all, very cool on the registration that you only fill it out once. I'm sure, there's lots of parents listening during summer break here, but if you are filling it out, it is nice that it populates to your other kids. So that's a cool feature. Question. So just Power School now, no Schoology. Just it's all going to be through Power School.
So Schoology is our learning management system that our students access. Parents, everything communicates through the Power School Messenger. Students will use Schoology for their classes.
Okay, but but when we're seeing grades, we're going through
Mhm.
Power School and everybody's through there. Okay.
Does that, can I ask, does that integrate into Power School? So Schoology and Power School like each other and they talk well?
Yeah, they do. Every night they sync to it. So while there is a grade book in Schoology, it syncs into Power School.
Schoology is a piece of Power School, but it's the LCM where teachers can move things back and forth to students, but the grade book will be found in Power School.
Okay. I guess my concern was sometimes you get different
Yes.
messages. And so then, last year having middle schoolers, they're like, oh no, it's just not updated. And so just trying to understand where we're checking just so that we can keep tabs and get parents involved.
Yeah, and I want to comment on that because you bring up a great point. Part of advancing our systems is sometimes retraining and reclarifying expectations. Because we did make a whole point in our strategic plan around parents being involved in their child's education. If they can't access accurate information, it's hard to do that. And so not only is this reclarifying what is the go-to place, helping make sure our instructional coaches and our admin are prepared to help guide teachers if it's a change, or for them. Because we don't want to send any type of mixed message. We're saying from the district that Power School and that module is where parents can access information, and our expectation is that schools monitor and help support that. But in addition to that, what I'm really excited about too is this is a level of access and kind of continual update at the elementary level, which has not been standard before. And high time we get there because we want our elementary parents to be engaged in their kids' learning. In many places, you see procedures where teachers are expected to update grades every 2 weeks or so. So we'll be working with our sites on all of that clarification. But if you're an elementary parent, you won't need to wait until parent conference or that sort of thing, wait in the year. You can look every week and see how your kid is doing. And so we're excited about really bringing some of these products that have maybe existed in some form of isolation or different usage into much greater clarity for our families.
No, and that's awesome because it is hard to sometimes check, well, am I checking Google Classroom? Am I checking? So it's an awesome thing to align them all into one thing. Very cool work.
Any other public comment? Board comment? Okay, go ahead.
Not to, I did mention cell phone. I do just want to reemphasize, we will be sharing a lot more information about that. There's no need for anybody to panic at this point. We're not banning cell phones. But what we are saying, and research confirms this, is that for students to be engaged in their learning, that needs to be set off to the side or put up or turned off. And really, it is about having consistency with that. So we recognize that parents in many cases want their child to learn in a distraction-free environment, but still want to be able to access their child, should there be an emergency or, late pickup or whatever it might be. And so this really will be a visible reminder in each classroom, but we are going to be consistent around this policy, and every single one of our classrooms are going to have the same procedure. Every school will be the same. Every classroom will have that poster. The steps will be the same, so that everyone knows coming in on day one, okay, I can have it. It's a privilege, but it's turned off or it's put away, or, it's not to be used unless it's part of classroom instruction. And then clear steps along the way of what happens if a student has trouble following that expectation. So I did just want to clarify really quick. We aren't saying you can't have your cell phone, but we are going to be very, clear on appropriate usage.
Any comments? Okay, moving on to 4.2, focus on literacy. Executive Director of Teaching and Learning, Brianne Phillips.
All right. Good evening again, President Naylor, Superintendent Schrum, board members, and community. Tonight, I am here to share with you VOSD's focus on literacy. Oh, it's working. Okay. Let me go back one. Okay. All right. We believe that students can achieve at high levels and demonstrate continuous growth. This belief is at the core, is at our core. We have laid a solid foundation to ensure that every student is learning every day. With your support in 24-25, it was a pivotal year and a pivotal step forward as we adopted high quality standards aligned curriculum. However, acquiring materials alone is not enough. To truly impact student learning, we must also invest in our educators by ensuring that they are not only trained to use these resources effectively, but also supported in the continuous development of their instructional practices. Our theory of action affirms that student success depends on high quality, professionally trained workforce, and that our decisions must be data-driven and grounded in research. Our literacy work reflects this commitment. Every decision from curriculum selection to professional learning has been informed by data, anchored in research, and centered on student needs. 3 years ago, we introduced our balanced instructional models for English language arts alongside models in other content areas. This was to provide clear guidance on what high quality instruction looks like across Visalia Unified. At the core of the ELA model is a strong emphasis on building foundational literacy skills at the earliest grades. Our theory of action calls for students to learn through a well-designed, standards-aligned lessons delivered through these balanced instructional models. Our strategic plan builds on this foundation by calling for the development of highly effective classrooms, ensuring that every classroom reflects consistent, high-impact instructional practices that accelerate student learning. To launch our highly effective classroom framework this fall, Teaching and Learning spent the spring and summer months ensuring that teachers are equipped with the tools they need to start strong on day one. We focused on strategically strengthening our instructional infrastructure. To do this, we provided clear guidance on the instructional day, the literacy block, as well as instructional expectations. With your continued support, we now have high quality, standards aligned curriculum in every classroom. Through feedback loops with educators, we have refined our assessment system and are fully prepared to launch this fall. Over the summer, as Assistant Superintendent Dillon mentioned back in our back to school report, we held multiple professional learning sessions on resource implementation. These learning sessions were well attended and the staff was highly engaged. Pending tonight's approval of the letters contract, we are equipped and ready to shift from training on what to implement to deepening teachers' understanding of how students learn to read. Now is the time to focus on the how we build teacher capacity to deliver instruction that meets the needs of every learner. Tonight under consent, you will see a contract with letters, a significant investment in our teachers and in the future of our students. As stated in our theory of action, the board recognizes that achieving high quality student outcomes depends on the highly trained professional supported workforce. Through letters, teachers will deepen their understanding of the science of reading and gain evidence-based strategies to respond to students' needs in real time, ensuring all learners have the opportunity to thrive. Our district investing in letters because this high quality professional learning aligns directly with the science of reading, which is a robust, evidence-based framework grounded in decades of research on how students acquire literacy skills. Letters deepens teachers' expertise on phonological awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension, as well as spelling, with these strategies that are applicable to our core curriculum. Why now? Across our state, it is clear that our current methods of teaching literacy are not producing the results our students deserve. In response, California is accelerating its commitment to literacy. The state recently released a literacy by literacy professional learning pack, part of a statewide strategy to ensure reading mastery by the 3rd grade. Additionally, pending legislation AB 1454 incentivize phonics-based instruction, phonics-based training and materials, spotlighting California's shift towards the science of reading. This work will be funded through one-time state funding. Many of our surrounding districts and counties are also engaging in letters training. TCO is launching their 2nd cohort this fall. Sanger Unified, Fresno Unified, Central Unified are all engaging in letters and yielding positive results. Not just locally is letters being utilized, but it is also across the nation. Ohio, Pennsylvania, Utah, Oregon, and Mississippi, to name a few. By adopting letters now, we position our teachers to lead this shift with confidence, delivering literacy instruction grounded in proven research, aligned with emerging state standards and funding, and focused on ensuring all students in VUSD become skilled, lifelong readers. Letters is a 2-year professional learning series grounded in the science of reading. It is designed to strengthen literacy instruction. The learning in letters can be applied to any curriculum and equips our educators with the research, knowledge, and practices needed to teach reading effectively to all students. The program blends online learning and in-person learning. It also has bridge to practice activities that connect theory to real classroom application, ensuring lasting impact on instruction. This fall, we will launch 2 K-3 teacher cohorts and 2 administrators leader cohorts as part of a multi-year contract that includes additional cohorts through 27-28 school year. In designing these cohorts, we worked with VUDA to ensure alignment, honoring the significant time and effort that teachers commit to this learning. We have structured the program to provide annual stipends upon the completion of each year of implementation. In addition, participating teachers may choose to earn up to 12 self-funded graduate professional learning units, which can lead to salary advancements for the duration of their career. At this time, we have 89 K-3 teachers that have already expressed interest in participating in letters. This is after just 1 informational session, as well as some outreach during our summer professional learning. This is 27% of our K-3 teachers that have committed to deepening their knowledge of how students learn to read. These teachers know and recognize that our curriculums will come and go, but see the value in understanding how to teach and support students with the most effective strategies. These teachers are choosing to deepen their understanding of how students learn to read and demonstrating a strong commitment to improving literacy outcomes for every student in VUSD. By approving letters tonight, Visalia Unified demonstrates its enduring commitment to ensuring every student learns to read and then reads to learn. By equipping our teachers and our leaders with the science and the strategies behind effective literacy instruction, we are laying a foundation for long-term academic success. This is not just a training. It is an investment in our staff that will change the trajectory of our youngest students and for many years to come. It's also an investment in a system-wide shift towards coherence, rigor, and equity in literacy. Together, we are taking a bold step forward in realizing our mission, every student, every day. And
Thank you. Any public comment? Any board member comments? Go ahead, Trustee Lemoyne.
Yeah, so I'm on the Legislative Committee on CSBA, and I'm proud to say we are very far ahead of many districts as far as our phonics programs and getting into the science of reading. A couple of board meetings ago, I was visiting an elementary site, and I was amazed. I thought, okay, the kids spell phonetically one grade, you go to the next grade, and they know how to spell. And I thought, it's like magic. Well, on our one-on-one with Kirk, I asked about literacy. Where are we going? And he gave me some stuff to read. And it's not magic. It's intentional. I saw it. I saw it in the trainings that our teachers are going to get. And I just want to say thank you for being brave and doing this. Our kids need to read, so thank you.
Thank you. Any other board member comments? Go ahead.
Just a couple questions. And yes, I mean, I think building capacity in our teachers is definitely better investment than any even program out there or anything. The training that was done this summer, like the writing, the dibbles, if teachers didn't attend in the summer, do they get the training, then you pull them out during the year?
Absolutely. We have scheduled dates in August and through September in order to make sure all of our teachers are trained on our curriculums.
Okay. And then just a couple questions about letters, because it is on our consent agenda tonight and it is a big investment. So I guess the couple questions are, yes, it's a blend of online, in person. So are they out of class? Like how many, like what does that actually look like in terms of what they're committing to? Like I said, like outside of classroom versus, putting in time at home or summers or things like that. Because again, I mean, they're implementing a new writing program. Dibbles is new, and we all have a certain amount of bandwidth that we can attune to.
We've been very transparent with the teachers who are volunteering to engage in this around the commitment. There is a significant lift. This is graduate level learning that they are engaging in. And so we are looking at, running sessions on Saturdays and being transparent from the get-go that these would be Saturday sessions, because we do want our teachers in the classroom. And so looking at different options and providing those in person. There are 4 in-person sessions each academic year.
Awesome. And then I guess lastly, just a little more maybe background why we're going with letters, because yes, the state is definitely pushing, which is awesome, literacy, but they also have a lot of resources, or they're pushing Project Arise. Like there's different things out there that are free modules. And so just a little bit of why, like the thinking behind this one.
Either way. We've actually looked at various programs, and what we looked at were programs that were based off of letters instruction. So as opposed to getting, for lack of better words, a skinny version of letters, we wanted to truly invest into the deep learning of this program for our teachers.
Yeah, I'll just follow up and say, perfect answer. That is true. We looked at Rise and some others and saw a lot of that. We also heard feedback of they got that, but then the teachers wanted the rest, or they wanted more, they wanted in depth. And so early on, I entered this conversation and knowing this is the direction we need to go. If we're going to do it, we're going to do, as she mentioned, like the graduate level version, right? Versus trying to do something skinny, trying to do something, a couple of sessions, but really take our teachers through a learning journey. Similar to if they were, going to get a master's degree, as you heard, for our teachers so far, that is, they'll be able to take these hours and turn it into some of those graduate level hours to, advance on the salary. Although for the 89 that have raised their hand and said, you know what, I want to make, this is a 2-year commitment. It will take some Saturdays. It will take learning at home. But I think it's a testament to our teachers who have said, yes, teaching's a lot, but just as we have teachers pursue their masters or other things, they want to go deeper into what their core work is. And while elementary teachers do a lot, there's nothing almost more important than reading. And so knowing we're going to be entering into this program, having seen it work across the nation. Many people are familiar with some of the Mississippi Miracle and some of the other things that have heard about. A lot of those states did invest in adopting, and it is good to your point to see California realize, oh, we need to do some literacy work here. And so I really am excited about positioning our district to be at the forefront of that. A little bit behind the county this time, but I think our package is a little better for teachers. But this is truly in depth. I think those questions are all valid. And ultimately, as we looked at what else is out there, there was nothing we saw through our research or conversation or that I saw or have experience with that reached the depth that this did as well. And it is an investment. I appreciate you bringing that up. We've talked a lot about our budget and concerns around, what's happening. And so through the one-time funding of not only the literacy, but the professional development grant, that's going to be able to sustain this work for us.
And I appreciate the training or the inclusion of all the administrators in there, because it really goes back to how it's implemented and how we how it overlays into the programs we have. So that's awesome that I heard there was administrators already volunteering or signed up, or maybe they're all going through.
Yes. So I will say, as we did with phonics and realizing, this is not just something we want our teachers to do. We want our support staff to have access to this. Those are all things we're talking about. Addition, VUDA, CSEA, those partners on board with learning about this opportunity, but the administrators as well. So not just the administrators of I'm a program specialist and I'm supporting teachers who will be in this, but the principal as well and the entire executive cabinet will be participating in the administrator version of this, which is a year-long program, a little bit different, but all those components so that we can support this work. Because again, there is nothing more important that we do as an education system than making sure every kid can read. And so I think that says a lot that, Chief Business Officer Hernandez, Superintendent Schrum, we're going to be able to be right there with the teachers, supporting them as they go through this journey.
Thank you. Any other comments? Thank you so much, Ms. Phillips. Moving right along to 5.0, general public comment. General public comment on any topic not on the agenda may be heard at this time. If you have public comment on an item listed on tonight's agenda, there will be opportunity for you to share your comments at the time the item comes up for discussion by the board. Pursuant to board policy, the board will limit individual comments for the general public comments to no more than 3 minutes and individual topics to 20 minutes. To comply with the Brown Act, California's open public meeting law, board discussion is limited to items on the agenda. Therefore, when receiving public comment for items not on the agenda, the board's role is limited to receiving such comments, and the board may not engage in dialogue with the public. The board thanks the public for its participation in public comment and understanding of the board's responsibilities. It is recommended you begin your comments by stating your name, and we do have one, Sandra Reimer. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Sandra Reimer. In 2018, I retired from teaching in Kings Canyon Unified School District. That same year, I moved to Visalia and became a CASA, court-appointed special advocate. CASA assigned me to 3 siblings who had just entered the foster care system. The oldest one, I'll call her Sarah, was a junior at Mount Whitney last school year. She has an IEP, and I attend all the yearly IEP team meetings because I hold her ed rights. Last spring, I attended an IEP meeting. I reviewed the results of Sarah's multidisciplinary psychoeducational assessment report. The report showed that Sarah scored in the lowest tier of almost all the math portions of the test. I asked the teachers and staff at Mount Whitney if there was a math class of Sarah's instructional level that she could take during her senior year. I was told that all math classes available at Mount Whitney teach high school standards, with no math classes available for students working below grade level. I dug a little further and found that Sarah is not alone. According to the 2024, and this is the most current I could find, EdSource Smarter Balance test results, 83% of the 11th graders of Visalia Unified were below grade level in math. Within that 83%, 59%, so it's almost 60% of the 11th graders were in the lowest tier, standard not met. Need a little graph. Sorry, I don't have it. Sarah completed Math 1 and 2 during her freshman and sophomore years. She was failing Math 1 and 2 until the end of the year, and she ended up with a D, meaning that she had fulfilled her math graduation requirements. However, fulfilling her math graduation requirements does not mean that she has acquired the math skills needed to navigate her way in the real world. In April of next year, Sarah will exit the foster care system and the public school system. She will not have the safety net that many of her fellow students have. She will be responsible for taking care of herself. The math tools she leaves school with will be one of the determining factors of her success. I understand the importance of teaching all students grade level curriculum. I also look at this data and see a massive need to offer math classes that help Sarah and the other 83% of students who are working below grade level. Math classes that help fill in the missing gaps, the unfinished learning, the prerequisite math skills needed to have success when they're learning grade level math. Requiring students to take grade level classes while ignoring previous skill deficits is a recipe for ongoing struggles, as evident in my graph. As you implement a new curriculum, it is imperative that there are classes offered to meet Sarah's needs and the needs of the 83% of the students working below or far below grade level. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. As there is no other public comment, I'll go on to 6.0 consent agenda. Would any board member like to pull an agenda or pull an item from the consent agenda? May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Certainly, I'll move.
I'll second.
On a motion by Board Member Belt, seconded by Board Member Villegas, call for the vote.
Motion passes 6 yes, no nays, and 1 absent.
Okay, I gotta go. We're going to move on to 7.0 board member reports, and I'll start with Board Member Belt.
Thank you, President Joy. A constituent sent me a request yesterday that I realized I had addressed it once before, but I want to say it again. We showed up on a list, Visalia showed up on a list of the least educated in the country. And the article, though, was not framed exactly the way the headline was. And so as I explained to her, it was counting the number of college graduates per capita, and that it wasn't a grade on Visalia Unified. And that's what she was trying to point out. What are we going to do as a parent and a grandparent here in Visalia? So I want to once again commend Visalia Unified that we are working very, very hard. Thank you, Mr. Thompson, Mrs. Phillips, so many others, to actually bring up, of course, our basics, our foundations in our education system, and that whoever wants to measure the number of college graduates in Visalia can continue to do so, but it does not reflect on the education system of Visalia Unified or what we're endeavoring to do. Along with that is what all of you right now, this is our first meeting with our realignment of structure. You see people sitting in different places and some sitting elsewhere where they were before. Thank you once again, Superintendent Schrum, that we've taken a strategic plan that we've worked at. You've helped us work and develop this and now aligned it to something that we can actually measure. Are we getting there? Are we accomplishing? We now have people and systems in place to actually be able to find out quarterly, And next year as well, have we reached the goals that we have set? So thank you for all of you making some adjustments. There's even been some salary adjustments to align people with the system. So that's not just the system that just keeps getting more and more bloated and less accountable. The accountability is in place. Thank you for doing that. It's a positive accountability that we have only high expectations to be able to recognize and realize. If they don't happen, we will know what we need to do. We will have some idea, well, we need to realign or bring more resource or cut spending on, whatever isn't working. We're not just sticking our finger in the air and saying, oh, we should go this way now. So I appreciate that. I want to say thank you again that we are making good strides. The numbers that we've heard tonight, I also want to highlight. There were some additional ones. The training that we talked about, 2,700 employees. I know of a few dozen, I think there's 22 of them, in the lower elementary music track who also on their own signed up for an online webinar. I know because my teacher wife has been listening to them for the last couple of weeks, and we're singing songs like crazy on and on, over and over. Can we download this one? Yes, we can do that, dear. Okay. And so that it is robust, the additional professional learning. Thank you for encouraging our staff to do that in the middle of their time off so they can come back in a couple of weeks ready to go. Thank you.
Board Member Vegas.
Thank you, President Naylor. I wanted to comment on what Trustee Belt brought up, which is these studies which constantly look at areas within the Central Valley and lack of higher education, right? And least educated cities. And I want to bring up 2 points there. One is that I share those same studies with my students, and I talk to them about them. Bakersfield and Visalia, Hanford areas were often trading off 1 and 2 for least educated across the nation. And that to me is not a reflection of intelligence. That to me is a reflection of underinvestment in the Central Valley. From Sacramento, from Washington, D.C., why is it that we don't have a 4-year public university in Tulare or Kings County? Why is it that our students have to drive a minimum of 2 hours every single day, either to Fresno or Bakersfield, to try and finish their 4-year degrees? And so with that being said, we need more investment here in the Central Valley. We need more investment into higher education, to the skilled trades, into CTE. And I also want to applaud my colleagues on the board. At our last board workshop session, we had a very robust discussion about where we should set our goals in terms of A through G, career, college and career readiness, and setting more ambitious goals as a district to ensure that our students have the necessary requisites to go directly to a CSU or a UC. And so I want to applaud, my colleagues here for setting an ambitious goal. And I know our superintendent and our staff leading that charge are going to help change those outcomes and reverse those statistics that we're known for. Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Gamoyan.
I really don't have much of a report except enjoy your first day of school back to school. I'm excited to go to Target. I still go the back to school sales, even though I'm not teaching and I buy stuff. So anyway, it's a good time of year. And thank you because there really is not any time off for a teacher. We're always planning all summer and all the workshops. Thank you for that. Thank you for all your hard work, and just have a great time starting school.
Board Member Gaby.
All right, just real quick, 2 things. First, I just wanted to acknowledge something else that was on consent, and that was the contract for SciCon. And I think that, it's something that we just sort of take for granted, I think, now in the district, but it really is a commitment that, first of all, I thank all of our district staff for budgeting that and making it possible, because it really probably is almost $1 million there, if I could quickly do the math. And And, for some of our students, when you talk about the, news reports and why our students are, sometimes it's their experiences, and that even goes into literacy and their background knowledge and all of these things. And so committing to that experience where for some of them, it's probably the first time, away from home or, kind of just experiencing different, even the mountains. We have students here that haven't been to the beach. And so bringing that to our students, just thank you for continuing to do that. And lastly, I am so excited for school to start and my kids to go back to school. So, just looking forward to the first day.
Board Member Odo.
Yeah, I just want to reinforce things that were said previously. I'm wishing staff a great start to the school year and hope we all have a great school year coming forward. And I also want to appreciate the comments of Board Members Belt and Villegas here regarding the nature of adult education levels here in the county. And we are an underserved area in lots of different ways. And the report that Mr. Belt brings up really does tend to give folks the impression that we really don't do well with education at any level. And we do have a good public school system here, and we're working hard to make it better to serve the kids that are here. We have a community college here, which is a good community college. And I think really what people need to understand, the takeaway there beyond the data that comes forward, is that this is a county where folks come to work because there's opportunities for folks with limited education. The ag industry brings folks in, and those adults are included in those counts, which is why the counts look so skewed in a negative way. But if people come here to work and they raise their kids in our community, we create kids who are successful or are ready for a successful adult life and go to college. And that's why our work is so very, very important. When folks come here for work opportunities, we want to double down on that and give their kids educational opportunities, which leads to better futures. So thanks to you guys for bringing those points up.
I want to reiterate that also. Thank you very much, because that we work so hard every year, every day, trying to improve our education and make our students successful. And, when you hear an article like that, it's kind of disheartening, but you got to remember where that information is taken from. I just want to also thank our teachers that did summer school. I know that you gave up a good portion of your summer, and we couldn't do without you. So thank you so much for doing that. I hope you have a relaxing and fun last 2 to 3 weeks and get rejuvenated for that first day of school. Our students are counting on you, and I just appreciate all of us staff, because not only is it our teachers, but our classified staff for working so hard in the summer to get the classrooms ready, to make our schools safe. It's a team effort. We all have to work together to make that very first day the best day ever. So thank you so much. Superintendent Schrum.
Thank you, President Naylor and board members. Again, we're looking forward to that first day. Best first day ever, just now a few weeks away. And we shared a lot in that back to school report and, highlighting what's coming this year. But I really just want to drive home a point again of, each year we work to get better. And so a lot of the things that you saw, a lot of the things that the board and community see reflected in our strategic plan are from what we've seen and experienced. And we heard from our teachers last year, as our TK students get younger and we have 3 to 4-year-olds and that sort of thing coming into our schools, many of them have not been in an environment where, come in and have a seat. Well, I may not know what that means, right? And so then we start having to talk about things like lowering education expectations or behavior, which may totally not be what is in the best interest of the child. So how do we create experiences where we can bring students in and families? If you noticed, a large part of the planning that team did, which I'm so proud of, wasn't just focused on bringing the kid in for a few weeks. It was the parent coming in too. It was creating modules. So now parents can go in and see, how do I do this? Or how can I help my child get potty trained or whatever it might be, right? How do I help them, get used to sitting in a seat for a certain period of time or, having food, how they do all those different things and those routines. And so it very much was, a multifaceted approach, and we're just beginning. And so each year we want to continue to expand and grow those opportunities because we do listen, we do see, we are in classrooms. And so we want our community and our board and our teachers especially to see we are responsive. We do hear you, and we want to help create the conditions so that every kid can access education and learn every day. So really excited about the work that happened over the summer. Shout out again, as always, to our facilities, grounds, maintenance teams. When a lot of folks go on vacation or kind of shift into low gear for a little bit of time, they're in high gear, right? They're spending multiple hours every day getting our sites and our facilities ready, working behind the scenes so that when kids and teachers do return here in a couple of weeks, they see that shiny floor, they see that welcoming environment. And also to our teachers, again, raising their hand for professional learning opportunities. 2,700 individuals over the course of the summer. That's amazing. And again, I think it shows just the commitment our teachers and our staff have in Visalia Unified to be the best they can be so that our students can be the best they can be. And so I will say, bring on the best first day ever. We're excited, just a few weeks away, and we're looking forward to that, and we're ready.
Thank you. Moving on to 9.1, recommended suspended expulsions. May I have a motion to approve the recommended suspended expulsions?
So moved.
And I'll second.
On a motion by Board Member Gamoyen, seconded by Board Member Belt. Call for the vote.
Motion passes 6 yes, no nos, and 1 absent.
10.1, public hearing and resolution conveying easement to Southern California Edison at Caldwell Avenue.
Good evening, President Naylor, board member, Superintendent Shrum. So this is a public hearing for approval of a resolution to convey an easement to Southern California Edison for property that we own, Lovers Lane and Caldwell. It's on that corner. There's no financial transaction with this. It is just giving them access to the property so that they can provide utility services.
Okay, so I will now open the public hearing to allow public comment on this item. Do I have any public comment or any board member comment? Okay, seeing that there is none, I'm going to close this public hearing. And so may I have a motion to approve the resolution conveying easement to Southern California Edison at Caldwell Avenue?
All motion.
Sure, I'll second.
Second. On a motion by Board Member Gaby, second by Board Member Belt. Please call for the vote.
Motion passes 6 yes, no nos, and 1 absent.
Thank you. 10.2, notice of intent to employ certificated personnel and approval of term waiver request for speech language pathologist. Presenter is Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources Department. That's a mouthful. Ben Dillon.
Thank you, Board President Naylor. Board, it is our request that you approve this waiver to allow for a number of our speech pathologists to move forward and obtain the necessary education to move forward in these positions.
Any board member comment? May I have a motion to approve the notice of intent to employ certificated personnel and approval of term waiver request for speech language pathologist?
All motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
On a motion by Board Member Gaby, second by Board Member Odo, call for the vote.
Motion passes 6 yes, no nos, and 1 absent.
10.3, notice of intent to employ certificated personnel and approval of provisional internship permit requests. Assistant Superintendent of Human Resource Development, Ben Dillon.
Thank you. Similarly, requesting that the board approve this PIP for a teacher who will be serving as an education specialist for the 25-26 school year.
May I have a motion to approve the notice of intent to employ certificated personnel and approval of provisional internship permit requests?
So moved.
Second.
On a motion by Board Member Gamoyen, second by Board Member Gaby, call for the vote.
Motion passes 6 yes, no nos, 1 absent.
10.4, notice of intent to employ certificated management personnel and approval of administrative services credential waiver requests. Ben Dillon.
Thank you, Board President. Again, requesting that the board approve the waiver for the administrative services credential request for this specific employee. Again, specifically just for the 25-26 school year.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion to approve the notice of intent to employ certificate management personnel and approval of administrative services credential waiver requests? Do I have a motion?
So moved. I move. Yes.
Second?
I'll second.
On a motion by Board Member Belt, second by Board Member Gaby, call for the vote.
Motion passes 6 yes, no nos, 1 absent.
Moving on to 10.5, notice of intent to employ certificate personnel and approval of variable term waivers request for CCSD certification.
So just briefly, because I know this is one we don't bring as often, the CCSD certification is what allows specific teachers who provide specially designed academic instruction delivered in English to English learners. And this is it for our preliminary CTE credential holders. Once they receive their clear credential, it would be embedded in their credential.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the notice of intent to employ certificate personnel and approval of variable term waiver request for CCSD certification?
So moved.
On a motion by Odo, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Gamoyen, call for the vote.
Motion passes 6 yes, no nos, and 1 absent.
10.6, resolution designating senior management positions of the classified service.
Thank you.
Ben Dillon.
Thank you, Board President. Bringing before the board a resolution tonight, and we request that the board pass the resolution. What the resolution would do is it would designate the chief business officer position as senior management of the classified service, which is specifically outlined in Education Code 45100.5. Specifically, what that states is that the chief business officer will serve as, other than the superintendent, as the highest level administrator with district-wide responsibility for business and fiscal management operation and needs. This resolution is a required action by the board in order to move forward with an additional item for the remainder of this board meeting.
Okay, any board comment, public comment?
This means Nathan gets to wear the orange jumpsuit if something goes.
I wasn't going to say that.
Thank you, Board Member Odo. May I have a motion to approve the resolution designating senior management position of the classified service?
I'll move that without the orange jumpsuit.
Do I have a second?
Second with glee.
On a motion by Board Member Belt, second by Board Member Odo, call for the vote.
Motion passes 6 yes, no nos, 1 absent.
10.7, employment agreement chief business officer. And Ben Dillon, you're up again.
The law requires that the board summarize key financial provisions of the proposed employment agreement prior to taking action on this contract. Therefore, the key material terms of the employment agreement are as follows. The term is for 4 years from July 1, 2025 to June 30th, 2029. For the 25-26 school year, the chief business officer shall be placed on step 2 of the chief business officer salary schedule, and the chief business officer's annual base salary will be $267,373 based upon the salary schedule adopted as part of this agreement. In addition, the chief business officer's base salary, the chief business officer shall be entitled to $400 per year if the chief business officer possesses a master's degree, or $650 per year if the chief business officer possesses a doctoral degree. The chief business officer shall receive a term life insurance policy with a death benefit equal to $125,000. The district will pay the chief business officer's dues to participate in up to 1 professional, educational, or community service organization approved by the superintendent. The chief business officer shall receive $200 per month as an automobile allowance for the performance of district services within the scope of the chief business officer's employment. This concludes the summary of the chief business officer's employment agreement.
Thank you. Any public comment? Board member comment? Seeing as there are none, may I have a motion to approve the employment agreement for the chief business officer?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Who seconded? On a motion by Board Member Gaby, seconded by Board Member Villegas, call for the vote.
Motion passes 6 yes, no nos, 1 absent.
Moving on to 10.8, employment agreement, Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources Development, Ben Dillon.
The law requires that the board summarize key financial provisions of the proposed employment agreement prior to taking action on the contract. The key material terms of the employment agreement are as follows. The term is for 4 years from July 1, 2025 to June 30th, 2029. For the 25-26 school year, the assistant superintendent shall be placed on step 4 of the assistant superintendent salary schedule, and the assistant superintendent's annual base salary will be $268,964 based upon the salary schedule adopted as part of this action. Per the terms of his existing contract, this salary reflects a step increase for the assistant superintendent for a satisfactory evaluation. In addition to the assistant superintendent's base salary, the assistant superintendent shall be entitled to $400 per year if the assistant superintendent possesses a master's degree, or $650,000 per year if the assistant superintendent possesses a doctoral degree. The assistant superintendent shall participate in the district's total compensation program on the same terms and conditions as all other district certificated managers. Since the assistant superintendent participates in the district's total compensation program, the assistant superintendent shall not be entitled to any district contribution toward health and welfare benefits. The assistant superintendent shall receive a term life insurance policy with a death benefit equal to $125,000. The district will pay the assistant superintendent's dues to participate in up to one professional, educational, or community service organization approved by the superintendent. The assistant superintendent shall receive $200 per month as an automobile allowance for the performance of district services within the scope of the assistant superintendent's employment. This concludes the summary of the assistant superintendent's employment contract.
I think you did a good job on that one. May I have a motion to approve the employment agreement for the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources Development?
So moved.
I'll second. On a motion by Board Member Gamoyen, second by Board Member Naylor. Call for the vote.
Motion passes 6 yes, no nos, 1 absent.
Moving right along, 10.9, Employment Agreement, Deputy Superintendent. Ben Dillon.
Again, the law requires that the board summarize key financial provisions of the proposed employment agreement prior to taking action on the contract. The key material terms of the employment agreement are as follows. The term is for 4 years from July 1, 2025 to June 30th, 2029. For the 25-26 school year, the deputy superintendent shall be placed on step 1 of the deputy superintendent salary schedule, and the deputy superintendent's annual base salary will be $284,221 based on the salary schedule adopted as part of this agreement. In addition to the deputy superintendent's base salary, the deputy superintendent shall be entitled to $400 per year if the deputy superintendent possesses a master's degree, or $650 per year if the deputy superintendent possesses a doctoral degree. The deputy superintendent shall participate in the district's total compensation program on the same terms and conditions as all other district certificated managers. Since the deputy superintendent participates in the district's total compensation program, the deputy superintendent shall not be entitled to any district contribution toward health and welfare benefits. The deputy superintendent shall receive a term life insurance policy with a death benefit equal to $125,000. The district will pay the deputy superintendent's dues to participate in up to one professional, educational, or community service organization approved by the superintendent. The deputy superintendent shall receive $200 per month as an automobile allowance for the performance of district services within the scope of the deputy superintendent's employment. This concludes the summary of the deputy superintendent's employment agreement.
Thank you. Any board member comment? May I have a motion to approve the employment agreement for the deputy superintendent?
Yes, I'll move that.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
A motion by Board Member Belt, second by Board Member Gaby. Call for the vote.
Motion passes 6 yes, no nos, 1 absent.
10.10, Employment Agreement, Superintendent. Ben Dillon.
The law requires an oral summary of the key financial provisions of the proposed employment agreement prior to taking action on the contract. The key material terms of the employment agreement are as follows. The term is for 4 years from July 1, 2025 to June 30th, 2029. For the 25-26 school year, the superintendent shall be placed on step 4 of the superintendent's salary schedule, and the superintendent's annual base salary will be $364,775 based upon the salary schedule adopted as a part of this action. Per the terms of his existing contract, this salary reflects a step increase for the superintendent for a satisfactory evaluation. In addition to the superintendent's base salary, the superintendent shall be entitled to $400 per year if the superintendent possesses a master's degree, or $650 per year if the superintendent possesses a doctoral degree. The superintendent shall participate in the district's total compensation program on the same terms and conditions as all other district certificated managers. Since the superintendent participates in the district's total compensation program, the superintendent shall not be entitled to any district contribution toward health and welfare benefits. The superintendent shall receive a life-term insurance policy with a death benefit equal to $125,000. The district will pay the superintendent's dues to participate in up to 4 professional, educational, or community service organization approved by the board. The superintendent shall receive $200 per month as an automobile allowance for the performance of district services within the scope of the superintendent's employment. This concludes the summary of the superintendent's employment contract.
Any public comment? Any board member comment? And as there is none, may I have a motion to approve the employment agreement for the superintendent?
So
I'll
moved.
motion. I'll second.
Who did that?
I motion
Okay, thank
Jackie's.
you. Got me. On a motion by Board Member Gamoyen, second by Board Member Gaby, call for the vote.
Motion passes 6 yes, no nos, 1 absent.
Moving on to 10.11 warrant list, May 31st, 2025 to June 26th, 2025. May I have a motion to approve the warrant list from May 31st, 2025 through June 26th, 2025?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
A motion by Board Member Odo, second by Board Member Belt, call for the vote.
Motion passes 6 yes, no nos, and 1 absent.
With that, meeting is now adjourned.